What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It's your man, Russ the Tar Heel, and we're going to be doing a new little episode weekly. Probably get it done and send it out Thursday morning. Let me know down in the comment section after you check this one out what you think about the timeline and everything. But I figured that get it out Thursday morning. That'll give us time to discuss, the upcoming game for Saturday. Obviously, the preview, breakdown, and the prediction has already been released. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure that you go and check that out. But this is just going to be kind of a little segment that riding around and just kind of talking to you guys about state of the program, what I think, maybe some topics at hand, etc., etc. But we're going to call this Russ's Rant in the Tar Heel Mobile. So if you don't know what the Tar Heel Mobile is, go and look at that preview, that South Carolina, North Carolina preview, and check that out for me. And you'll see the big white F350 it is. But that's my truck. So that's what we're riding around in here right now. Just flying the flags, letting the world know there's a Tar Heel in the area. But yeah, it's going to be real informal. It's not going to be like any of the other things that we put out, man. It's just basically me ranting. So there's probably going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of things like that. So it is what it is, man. Very informal. Just kind of me driving down the road and thinking about things to talk about. So one of the first things that I did definitely want to discuss is that UNC-USC preview, breakdown, prediction. That video got 1,000. It got over 1,000 views in less than 48 hours, which is the first time for this channel. So I put out a little text thing and basically stated, exactly how I feel. I appreciate all the Tar Heels. I appreciate all the Gamecocks that came and checked it out. I appreciate all the love, all the hate, all the friendly banter. And hey, listen, if you're one of those South Carolina fans, and me and you kind of went back and forth a little bit on the in the text thread, hey man, it's all fun and games. It's college football. At the end of the day, it's a game. We obviously ought to not take it so seriously that we can't have a little fun going back and forth, and we need to be a little bit thick-skinned. If something sticks and it hurts a little bit, well, maybe there's some truth to it, but at the same time, you shouldn't let it bother you. So I like to joke around. I like to talk a little trash, and believe it or not, I actually like it when people talk trash to me. So I enjoy it, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully no feelings are hurt. There's no hard feelings. Like I said, I just really enjoy college football, man. And I love starting the season out with a game like this. And I'll be straight up with you guys. Like I've said before, the game makes me nervous because I genuinely do care. I am a huge Tar Heel football fan. Huge Tar Heel football fan. And, I expect big things from them this year. And if they don't make big things happen, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that I'm going to be disappointed. Now, there are years where my expectations are not as lofty. I have very lofty expectations for Carolina this year. It's year 5 with Mack, and we have a generational quarterback. We have healthy running backs. We have a stacked wide receiver room. We have a stacked tight end room. We have a much better defense than what we have exhibited the past year or two. So there's a lot of mockery going around about Carolina's defense. Somebody put in the comment section, does Carolina even play defense? And I jokingly went back to him and I said, hey, I've been asking that question since about 2009, 2010. Because it's a legitimate question. Do the Tar Heels actually play defense anymore? And all I can tell you is that they are much better than what they have shown the past couple of years. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Gene does in year 2. Mack has said, that he's been on Gene's he's been in Gene's ear, It's like, hey, bro, it's the defense was atrocious, and you got much better talent than what you had when you came in here in 2014, 2015. We should be good, and I fully expect this defense to take a pretty significant leap forward. I really do. I think that they're tired of being called soft. I think they're tired of being referred to as a bend don't break defense or a porous defense, etc., etc. So I expect the defense to take a significant jump forward. Now they're playing a good team, like I said in my preview and everything. Spencer Rattler, Juice Wells, that's a good football team over there, and I do believe that South Carolina is on the rise. I think Shane Beamer is a really good football coach, and I think that South Carolina is a team to definitely be on the lookout for. And I'll even say this: I think that they're a team that can obviously beat the Tar Heels. But I think that this is I think that they're different teams, but I think that this is a pretty evenly matched football game. I really do. I think it's fairly evenly matched talent across the board. I think it's going to be a really good football game. I really do. And I think it's going to be real close. It's really interesting that, a lot of the South Carolina fans, I don't think there's not many that said that it was going to be a close football game. Most of them are predicting like some kind of blowout. And the guys that are like, oh, well, South Carolina's going to win by 90. I'm not counting those individuals because obviously that's ridiculous. Fortunately, there's not been any Tar Heel fans in the chat saying ridiculous things like that. I would hope that we would represent ourselves better than to be so silly. But, the guys that are like, yeah, I think South Carolina's going to win by 21-14, I think that's a huge margin. You really have to, one of two things has to be the case. You must really, really, really be high up on South Carolina that they would start the season unranked and that you think that they're going to beat the Tar Heels by 14, 21. I think somebody said maybe 24 or something like that. That is, there's a lot of people that are wrong about a lot of things if South Carolina beats Carolina that bad. And that's why I just don't think that that's realistic. I think that that's kind of a homer mentality, and if that's the case or not, or maybe you don't because some people are just willingly ignorant. So, but I fully expect it to be a really close football game. I think it's going to be a battle. I think both of these teams won it. I think both of these fan bases won it. I think both of these coaches won it. It's for bragging rights. It's a border rivalry. We don't play every year. It's a battle of the Carolinas, man, and I'm really, really looking forward to this game, 7:30. And I couldn't be more ecstatic that College Game Day is there. How appropriate is that, man? As a Carolina fan, that it doesn't happen all too often. So for it to be week one, primetime television, in front of the nation, I think that's a pretty special thing. And what better way for Mack Brown to dispel some of the notions, if you will, about his program than to come out there against an SEC school and beat South Carolina like he did in 2019. So, it's going to be real interesting to see if the Heels can get that done. And I tell you what I'm really interested to see too is I know that South Carolina is going to show up. I'm really interested to see, and here's why I say that, because a lot of South Carolina fans will probably be like, yeah, our fan base is. Well, here's the thing, man. I think that when you look at both of these programs, I've heard South Carolina fans say, well, we're realistic, because I made the comment one time, that we started number 10 in the nation back in 2021 and went 6-7 that year that South Carolina beat them up in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And, one of the guys made a comment, well, we're realistic. We know that we're never going to win, 10, 11 games or win a national championship. That's not, we're realistic. And You know, I thought that was a very telling statement because I think a lot of Tar Heel fans, myself included, where I don't necessarily, it's not like I'm sitting here today and I'm saying, hey, my expectations for this team is to win a national title. No, I'm not a Georgia fan. I'm not an Alabama fan, okay? I'm a Tar Heel fan. Now, I will tell you what I believe are realistic expectations for this year. When you take the talent, you take who's at the helm, the coach, you look at the schedule. You know, Carolina has one top 25 team currently right now in the polls that they play. So the schedule sets them up for success. And, you know, I really believe this. If they can beat South Carolina, which I believe that they can, and if they can go to Pitt and beat Pitt, watch out. Because you may be looking at a 10-0 North Carolina team going into Death Valley to play the Clemson Tigers in a huge game. I mean, it might even be College game day again, you know, in South Carolina, in Clemson, South Carolina. So, I mean, it could be extremely interesting. And, you know, I think that it's realistic, and I think that Tar Heel fans should expect. I was listening to Shot and Vip, and you know, Shotmer said, "Hey, anything less than 10 wins this year would be a letdown. It'd be a bust. It would be a bust for the Tar Heels not to win 10 games this year. A bust, an absolute bust. And I picked them to go 11-1. You know, and that's predicated on, obviously, I wouldn't say it's predicated necessarily, but obviously a huge step in that direction is for them to beat the South Carolina Gamecocks in Charlotte. But I got Carolina going 11-1. And if they don't go 10-2, I would say that there is a failure on the coaching staff's part. You gotta start pointing the finger at the guys that are training these guys, man. I mean, you know, that are putting these guys in certain positions. I mean, eventually, that's where the blame's got to go. You know, if the defense doesn't improve, the blame has got to go to Gene Chizik. If the kids aren't ready to play, you know, if we have one of those years where, you know, these guys just aren't motivated, you know, that's on Mack. It really is, man. There's no other way to put it. It's on Mack Brown if he can't get these kids to stink and be geared up to play this year. I mean, this is the window, man. I've said it 100 times. This is the window, and they need to make something of this season, because that is what Mack was saying was going to transpire when he came back. You know, that's exactly what he said is, hey, man, we're gonna compete for titles. That's what we want to do. And, you know, I mean, there's a scenario where the Heels, they go 11-1. You know, they lose to Clemson and somehow they don't end up in the ACC championship game. I'm not going to label that season a bust. But if they don't win 10 games, man, that's a bust in my book. All stinking day long. So, another interesting topic is still, you know, the whole Tez Walker situation. You know, it's unbelievable to me, and we're just going to change pace a little bit here. It's still unbelievable to me that the NCAA would, one, allow this kid, give him the nod to transfer back in, what was it, January, February, something like that. And then a couple days later, the rules change. So he's already been given the go-ahead, like, hey, you're good. And then they come back and say, hey, now you're not eligible. You know, what was that? Month and a half before the season. And they haven't had the decency. North Carolina's already written them. Kent State sent a letter. The governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, has sent a letter to the NCAA. And they still, everybody has said, they still have not gotten back to Mack and the compliance staff about whether or not they're firm in this decision or not. That's unbelievable. unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable that they're doing that with this kid. You know, I mean, even if you're not going to let him play, the decent thing to do is, and there's nothing else to look at, either you're saying he's ineligible or you're saying he's ineligible. I think I said that right. Either you're saying he's eligible or you're saying he's ineligible. Just come out and, like, stamp it down like, no, he's not playing. At least let the North Carolina fan base, Coach Mack Brown, and most importantly, this young man who just wants to play football, Tez Walker, for his home state, his home school, so his grandmother can watch, at least give him the common decency to let him know so that he's not out in limbo. I mean, I feel for that kid, man. He's out there probably right now just grinding, but at the same time, in the back of his head, he does not know if it's for naught. Am I going to play? And I tell you what would be another, almost even more ridiculous thing, is if the NCAA were to not let him play against South Carolina, so he'd sit out a game or two, and then for them to come out and say, you know, when they, against Minnesota, oh, okay, we've looked at it, he's eligible. What a disgrace, man. What a stinking disgrace. You know, I wish these guys would get a little bit of sense of urgency about them and, you know, just stop being so inopportune and just so, it almost seems careless and callous, you know, like flippantly, you're not eligible. Like, bro, look at the kid's situation and let's make a common sense, you know, decision about this. I'll be honest with you, you know, you'll learn if you watch this channel enough, you will learn quickly that I absolutely despise NC State. I absolutely despise the Duke Blue Devils. But if this were NC State or Duke, one of their players, I'd be saying the same thing. Let the stinking kid play, man. Was he with two other programs? Yes. One, he got injured. The other one was a COVID season where they canceled all football operations, basically, and he didn't play. He never suited up. Then he goes to Kent State, balls out, and his grandmother wants to see him play, and she's not doing well, so he wants to be closer so that they can make that happen, so he transfers to North Carolina. And now all of a sudden it's, you know, and you got people at like 5, 6 different schools. I'm trying to, I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember if Caleb Williams has been to a couple of schools or who was another one? JT Daniels had been to like a couple of schools, and now all of a sudden it's this kid. We're gonna make an example of this kid. Man, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, and he really is, man. He's a game changer. You know, Tez is a game changer, man. He can take the top off of a defense, and he gives you a true number one caliber guy that you can go to. And to take him out of this ball game like that is just, I can't stress it enough. It's ridiculous. And I would honestly say that if the kid played for South Carolina, just like Shane Beamer, you know, in his own integrity, you know, Shane said, hey, I think the kid should be eligible. And he's right, you know, and I'd say that about a kid from South Carolina with the same circumstances. I'd say it about a guy from NC State or Duke. And I can't stand either one of those schools. That hatred, you know, goes far beyond South Carolina. But anyway, you know, I hope that soon, you know, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, at this point, it'd be cool if Saturday morning, you know, Tez flew in from Charlotte or from Chapel Hill, and you know they bring all his equipment and they let him know, like, boom, that morning, like, hey bro, you're playing. What a rallying cry that would be for that team. Like, I'm sure that would give them even more of a, you know, like, let's get this done, man. Let's go in here and get this done for Tez, because now we got him with us, you know. So That would be super cool, I mean, at this point. But the point is that it's a shame that it even got to this point. It's just ridiculous, man. So, hopefully Tez will be able to play. If he doesn't, I think that J.J. Jones and Kobe Paysor, don't sleep on Kobe, man. When Josh Downs was out last year, after the FAMU game, when he got hurt on that touchdown catch, Kobe Paysor, I don't know if y'all remember, man, he made a sick catch in the back of the end zone against Georgia State where he laid out. And that's kind of what, showed me, hey, this kid can hoop, man. He's a baller. And, just to let you know, a hooper, to me, is just a baller. That's sport-wide. How's he a hooper? He's playing football. That's just what I'm saying. He's a baller, man. Okay, you can be a baller and play football, too. But, when Josh went down, Kobe was a good serviceable option. I'm not saying that he is Josh Downs, and I'm not saying that he's going to be able to necessarily replace Tez Walker, but don't sleep on Kobe Paysor. I even feel like I'm sleeping on him saying the things that I'm saying right now because I think that Kobe Paysor is somebody that people sleep on. And then J.J. Jones had some really big catches last year too. So, with that, Nate McCollum, and these guys have good wide receiver options. The Hills do, that they can turn to, and they have good enough personnel that even without Tez Walker, they will be able to come out with a victory in this football game. They do have that kind of talent. So that'll be interesting to see is how they handle that situation if Tez truly, in fact, is unable to play tomorrow. So another interesting thing is going to be just kind of switching sides is Spencer Rattler and how he adapts with Juice Wells and his receiving core against this completely revamped secondary. Because I'm really interested to see where Juice lines up. And, if Elijah Huzzie is as good as they say that he is, by all inclination from camp, everybody's saying that this kid is an NFL corner. If he doesn't somehow mirror him and, try to shut him down, maybe even put a safety over the top and just make sure that Juice doesn't beat you. I'm not really against that game plan. And then you obviously still have Nick Harbor, and as great as Nick Harbor's intangibles are and what everybody's saying he can do, he's 6'5", 240, 245. Somebody said that he runs like a 4.35. That's ridiculous. But he's still an 18-year-old kid. And, across from him, if he's lined up tight, he's going to have to go against, for all intents and purposes, a 23-year-old preseason All-American in Cedric Gray. So you got a boy going against a man. And, you can take for that what you want. I don't think that being named to the preseason All-American team is something to sleep at. So I think that, Ced is going to be able to hold his weight. The interesting thing is going to be when he gets lined up on the nickels, like DeAndre Boykins, who DeAndre's heady, man, and DeAndre will come up and pop you in the mouth. And that's why I love DeAndre, because he's a littler dude, but he is what you call a footballer. Because that kid will come up and lay the wood, man. He's got that rude boy mentality, and I love that about DeAndre Boykins. But it'll be interesting to see Spencer Rattler and Juice, and how they play with this revamped North Carolina secondary. Because I am expecting a huge improvement. So, that's going to be super interesting to see. And, I think, like I said, man, this game is very important. It's super important. I don't want to downplay how important this football game is. It shouldn't be downplayed. This football game, I don't know about South Carolina, okay? All I know is, we as a Tar Heel fan base, we have the facilities, we have the personnel, we have the coaches. All we've been clamoring for years now is for us to live up to expectations. I think that's the hardest thing as a Tar Heel football fan, is just constantly, it just seems like, even when you get the 9-1 season, and then you drop 4 straight, including you get blown out in the ACC championship game, you lose a last-minute game to Oregon, which you should have beat, you're the better team. You lose to NC State at home on a last-second field goal by their third-string quarterback. We're just tired of being let down, man. And I can say that. I know that a lot of Tar Heel fans believe the same thing. We're just tired of the Heels not even meeting expectations. It's not exceeding expectations. We're just tired of being let down. And, you ask me, with the history of Tar Heel fans being let down, why or how could you pick Carolina to go 11-1? And, you can call this whatever you want, but it's because my money is on Mack Brown. I mean, it really, it's not even Drake May, man. It's not even Drake May. My money is on the Hall of Famer, understanding the situation, and whereas he may have came in a little soft, if you will, where he's kind of a lot more lenient, and he's kind of letting his coordinators do exactly whatever they want to do. I still don't think that he's a micromanager, but I think that Coach Mack Brown has kind of tightened the reins a little bit, and I think that he understands. He understands that, he heightened the expectations of the fan base. And look, man, we had a terrible, 17 and 18? Oh my goodness, with Nathan Elliott. Oh, that was so bad. It hurt so bad. Those were terrible seasons. And then we win 8-9 games, but here's the deal. That's still not enough. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. I'm not saying that there aren't years where 8-9 wins won't be like, hey, I like it. Okay, I'm a realist. But a year like this year, it's a double-digit year, man. You can't come out of this one 9-3, 9-4, 9-5. It's just not going to be acceptable, man. And you're not going to be able to point to, well, this is only the third time in 2 decades that we've won 9 games. We don't care about that, Coach. We don't. And I love you, man. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. Look, one of your biggest fans, there were very few people, there were so many people that were, he can't come back and do well. I was so excited, knowing that you were coming back. But I'm not going to lie, it heightened my expectations, because I expect the Hall of Famer to be able to push these kids past their limit. I expect him to get them to the point where they are successful, where they exceed expectations. You're a Hall of Famer, man. You're a Hall of Famer. And this is what we should expect. And I, as a fan, you take this, obviously at the end of the day, he's still the coach, he's still making millions of dollars, and the kids are still going to the NFL, and they're still getting full ride scholarships, and but hey, as a proud North Carolinian, as a proud Tar Heel, and I'm do or die, man. If y'all don't win a football game this year, I'm still a Tar Heel. Okay? But will I be disappointed? I will. If we don't win at least 10 football games, will I be disappointed? I will. And I'm sure that the fan base itself will be disappointed, because we want to support these guys, and we want to support them with all our heart, mind, and soul. We really do. And sometimes all we need just is that little boost of confidence, and for us to exceed expectations as opposed to being let down. And so that's just a little bit from the heart, man. We're going up on 30 minutes. You guys let me know what you guys, as I put the old Tar Heel mobile back into the driveway. Let me know what you guys think about this little segment. Do you like it? Do you like it on Thursdays? Would you rather Thursday morning, Friday morning, Thursday night? I don't know. But just let me know, man. And I'm looking forward to these. I feel like I got a lot off my chest. It's a good what's the word I'm looking for? A little session where I can just speak my mind freely. So, if you haven't already, like I said, man, go look at the preview. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hey, once again, all the North Carolina, South Carolina fans that tuned in to the preview show, hey, I appreciate you. And I hope that it's a great game on Saturday. I really do. Obviously, I hope that the boys come out on top, but I hope it's a great game on Saturday. It's good for college football. I'm excited that college game day is there. I can't stinking wait, man. So, like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment down in the comment section what you think about this little segment. Russ's Rant in the Tar Heel Mobile. We'll do this once a week, man, and we'll have a good time with it. So, hey, Saturday, baby. South Carolina, North Carolina, Battle of the Carolinas. Let's go. We'll catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.